I've been a student of mythology my whole life, and despite having lived in a time when cinema reigned supreme, I'm surprised at how only very few films have exploited this genre and done so with any success. Amazing that the most groundbreaking film of the past 50 years, Star Wars, the film that took its inspiration from Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces, has failed to spawn a mythological resurgence. Sure, there's been adventure films and blockbusters and many imitators, but very few have achieved a dedication to the mythological complexity and efforts of George Lucas or even the films of Ray Harryhausen. I've been very upfront with the big films of the day. They seem lifeless and forgettable. But I always knew that the most impactful films of the era would be produced by foreign filmmakers, such as those coming from Japan or Bulgaria, or those that are filming on a low budget. And I am right. A film that has just showed up on Blu-ray, Quest for Steel, has reinvigorated me and taken me joyously back to my childhood, teen years, and scholarly life. On the surface, it's very glossy. Extremely beautiful young warrior ladies that look more in keeping with the type of art that you would see adorned on American muscle cars of the 1980s than in a serious mythological foray. But the style is more like a play than a film, and the subject matter it concerns itself with, that is the tools and materials of the ancient world, are critiqued with both engaging narrative and interesting insight. If you were to tell anyone to watch a film about rock, stick, bronze and steel, they would most probably run a mile. But this film uses these materials to tell us who the very hell we are. One by one, we are told by its wielder of its strengths, but never its weakness. The wooden bow staff is so great that if arrows were to be flung in its direction, they would be sliced in two. Bronze is magnificent because it's made from the same materials sculptors used to make the statue of the gods. In steel, being the pinnacle, can scatter soldiers on a field like shells washed up on a beach. But what about the very first material? What about rock? It doesn't get its critique until right at the end, and this is because the story is a quest, and upon this quest we witness the foibles of man. The film sees mankind as a scourge, and this is the big clue to the riddle of the gods. On the walls of the cave are the carved heads of three men: the king, the priest, and the warrior. Which face is the purest? It is said that the one who can solve the riddle will be the ruler of the lands, and throughout the film's 2.5-hour runtime, we see that neither priests, nor kings, nor warriors can be trusted, much less the products of their labor. In one particular scene, the film's stick-wielding protagonist, Tegrafez, is lured into a wooden labyrinth by an evil bronze weapon enthusiast who mocks her uncivilized and undeveloped weaponry. What can wood do that bronze can't? He laughs at her and she assumes the pose of a javelin thrower. The bow staff is blunt and can have no impact. But wood burns, so she sets it alight and spears it at his timber maze, burning down this would-be Minotaur's abode. It appears it can do quite a bit. Steel, the main hero of the story, is also treacherous in this piece, turning on its master in the most wanton hour of need. But rock is at the top of the food chain for its representation of the anti-technology. So on the walls of the caves are the carved heads of 3 men: the king, the priest, and the warrior. Which face is the purest? The rock face. I can't recommend Quest for Steel enough. The future of the film is in the hands of the low-budget independents. Pray they wield a mighty tool. Please subscribe for more, leave a like and a comment.